Welcome to In the Craftroom with Debbie. The whole idea of these sessions is for you to have a go at different techniques. Download the papers from our website by going to debbiemore.co.uk and then literally following the step-by-step videos that I'm going to go through it. And then if you have any questions or queries, just put them in the little inbox and then I'll answer them. Are we ready? So this particular video is all about spinning cards. So this is the project that we are going to create, and they're so much fun to do because once you get the idea behind it, you can then create different shapes, and they're great for Christmas, they're great for cards for men, and the idea behind it is getting the elements ready and the base card, which is then I'm going to go through it. Now for materials, now you can check out the website, it'll tell you what you need, but this particular workshop you do need to have some string, and this is the most important thing. Now it doesn't necessarily have to be string like this, as long as some type of string. It can be nylon thread, the invisible one, it can be a coloured one, you can do a very thin ribbon, as long as you can actually twirl it. Once you get the technique about it, you can then have a go and use different mediums to get the same effect. Now what I've done is, by going to my website, you can download the papers that match this project, and what I've done here is I've got mine ready. Now in this step-by-step video we're going to go through the different processes, processes, and then I'm going to do it at the same time as you're doing it. So some of the elements I haven't cut out ready. Now the other thing with regard to this is, on the download it does show you that you do need to have a circle topper. However, you don't have to have the die. We're using my dies, and these are from the Match It dies, the nesting dies. You can use any circle die, or you can just fussy cut it out very simply. So I have got my dies ready as well. So we're going to get started by getting ready, or I should say getting ready for the base. So the base is this beautiful aqua and pink finish card. Now I print directly onto card. Now if your printer doesn't take card, just print on paper and back it onto card. And you've got solid lines in the center and broken lines on the outside. And what's that telling me is this needs to be cut out and this needs to be scored. So I'm using my paper trimmer. You can use a knife and a ruler if you want to. I tend to use a paper trimmer because I can see where I'm cutting, because this has a precision line, so it shows me that I'm going to start here and then go all the way up to the top like so, and then I'm going to turn it round and repeat all 4 sections. Now this is a really lovely project, it's really fun, and I also do spinner cards at Christmas because you can put a secret message on the back. So what I'm doing is going all the way around like so, and this one there's no measuring because when you print it off it's already down to scale, so you don't have to measure anything out. So what I've done now is my last section, press down and cut out like so, and then there you go. Now the other thing is I need to score these areas. Now you can use a scoreboard with an embossing tool, but I tend to use my paper trimmer again, and I'm just going to use my tool, my embossing tool, and simply score that section on both sides like that. And then that will just fold into place, and that is my base card already. Now also what you've got, remember, you have got your toppers, you've got your extra embellishments. Now I want to show you that if you print off the elements from the workshop cards, you'll have just like the ribbon strip, and you'll have your flowers, and then you'll have the bow, sorry, not the bow, the actual butterfly, and then you will have your topper. But if you're going for the CD-ROM, all these products are from the Butterfly Whispers collection. They come out like so, so you can see that you get the different shapes. And what I want is I want this one for the back, and I'm just going to go around it like so. And then I'm going to have this one for the top bit. So I'm just going to trim it out because I'm using a die cut machine, and with some circle dies. You can use it cut out by hand, or you can use a circle cutter if you've got one of those. And then all I'm doing is I'm using a Cuttlebook, and you can use any of your die cut machines. I'm literally going to put that onto there. Now I have got my die for that particular size, and I'm just using a little bit of tape. Now, how are we all doing? Are you with me so far? Now remember, if you have any questions or queries, just put them in your little comment box and then I will answer them as we go along. So I get another piece of tape, like so, put that on that. And what I'm going to do is put this through my cutting machine. As I said, I'm using a Cricut Cutterbug, but you can use any other machine, or you can just fussy cut and cut them out. I just prefer for circles, I like using my dies because I never can cut out a perfect circle. So then I'm just going to check that's gone through perfectly. There we go, so there's that one already. And then what I'm going to do is, I also have one for the back, and I'm just going to use the other die to cut that out so it's ready. Now remember, when you do your circles, you will need to cut out, well, one for the front and one for the back, but this is my extra message that I want to put in there as well. And then die cut that out like so. Now for the back, when you come to actually do your spinner card, if I turn this over, you can see that I've got a piece of pink card there. Now yet again, you can literally cut it out, fussy cut, or you can use, I'm using a little bit of pink card. Make sure you use the right size die, which is this one. Put it on like so and put that back through. So all I'm doing now is getting ready my toppers, and remember, you can just cut it out by hand if you want to, or you can die cut. So this is great because now that's given me the back and the front like so, and then what I want to do is I want to put that in the center, and I've already got another circle one that's going to go like that. So that is my topper ready. Now while I'm doing the die cutting, what I'm going to do is cut out this little, actually I'm going to do that one by hand later on. I was going to do it by a die, but this is the beauty about it, the smaller ones are much easier to cut out. So once you've got this ready, so I have got my front and I've got my back, then I have my base like so. And this is how easy it is to actually create the spinner card. So all I'm going to do is trim down, so this is my string, trim down enough to go from edge to edge of your card, trim it down like so. Now remember, it can be any type of thread. Mine's just got a hint of pink on it, so that's going to go there. And then what I want to do for the actual inside, if I open it up, all you need to do is put that across there like so. So I put my thread in first. Now you need to make sure it's very tight, and I'm using some red liner tape. Find the end, there we go. Lift it up, and I'm just going to trim it a little bit off. Now the reason why I'm using red liner tape, it's very strong. So all I'm going to create is a taut string. So do one side first, cut off a little bit, and I'm using where I've scored it is where I'm going to put it. Put that down like so, and I can cover it later and then pull it quite tight and do the other side. So let's do that. Make sure it's very tight. Put that on. So there I've created the actual string for the spinner, and then we're going to decorate the front of the card before I actually put it all together. So you will have in your download papers a ribbon strip, and what I'm going to do is, one of the things to give more dimension, like we have on this one here, is we've risen it with foam pads. You can use silicone glue if you want. I'm just going to use some foam pads, and all I'm doing is taking, I use a pricking tool. I find it much easier to take a pricking tool and press it down. How's everybody going? Are you still with me? Now remember, these videos, you can mute it You can pause me, you can go back to it any time. The idea behind it is for some inspiration for you to have a go at these techniques. There we go. And then you can download the papers again and again, just for you to have a go at these techniques. So let's put that last one on there. I love these pricking tools, but look how easy it is to take the tops off. Very simple like that. Get rid of those few, and the last two. Bring that forward and just place that. I tend to use my mat as a guide to make sure I'm placing it straight. There we go. Put that on there. So there's that part of it. And then you will have some flowers that's going to go along there. Now when you print them off, you'll find that you've got a little bit of shading. And what I've done the shading so you don't have that white edge. And you can use small scissors or large scissors, but I'm going to leave the outer section of the flower so it looks like I've die cut it. So all I'm doing is wiggling my scissors and moving my paper around. I tend to use larger scissors. I find it so much easier, but have a go if you've never used larger scissors for cutting, because what you're doing is using this part of the blade so you're not keep snipping, and I find it much easier and comfortable to do. There we go, going round the edges like so. And this will make it look like I've popped it out as a die cut, and that's why you've got that lovely shading around the edges, so it's not the white of the card that you see. So all I'm doing is going all the way around the outside, and then I'm nearly there. And when it comes to sticking it, you can use any type of adhesive. You can use foam pads or you can use glue. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bow it first using an embossing tool, and I'm just literally using the edges just to bow it a little bit and then lift it up. So this is going to sit like so, and then I'm going to use some glue. I tend to use wet glue because I like the fact I can wiggle it. There's so many glues out there. This is my 3-in-1. You can use acrylic glue, you can use foam pads, or you can even use silicone glue, whichever you find easier. This is going to wiggle into place like so. Hold it for a few seconds, and then I've got the other side, which is made up of another topper. Now remember I said to you that this one I'm going to cut out. So if you are not using die cuts, a top tip would be cut out your circle, then use your scissors, whichever one you find easier, and just rotate the paper around. Keep moving it round like so, and then slowly do the circle. I mean, to be honest, circles are the hardest things to cut out, but if you go round the edging and do a little bit at a time, you'll find it much easier. And the last little section, there we go. So there's my circle, so that's going to go on there. And what I've got is I've got some hat pins that I'm going to use, and I've got some lace, but I'm going to use that at the end. We're now going to put together our spinner, and as I said, it's made up of 2 sections, and yet again I'm using my red liner tape is what I'm going to stick the center together. So let's get started. Now I use my mat as a guide to make sure it's straight, and what I'm going to do is make sure I'm happy with it. So I'm going to put that. So you need to make sure it doesn't go too far down. It has to go in the center, so it needs to spin. So I'm going to put my base down like so, and then I'm going to line up my red liner across the middle, and then use my pricking tool to take the top off like so. And then I'm going to position the next one. Make sure you've got it straight. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of pink showing. Press that on top like that, and there is my spinner bit. Now this will sometimes make sure, or I should say, the weight will sometimes drop the string, so make sure it's nice and tight. And then for the back, what I've got here is I've got another circle, You can put anything you want in the back. You can print off the front message again if you want to. And then what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on, like so. So how's everybody doing? Are you still with me? All I've done is I've got some scrap paper from this design and then put it on top. And then what I want is let your dreams grow wings. That's really lovely. Fix that on top. This is a really lovely card. Once you've got all your elements ready, it's very easy to come together. Now I do want to put a little bit of adhesive around here now that I know where I'm going to have my topper. So only stick it down when you're very happy with everything. Okay, and make sure it spins. Yep. Let that dry. While that's drying, I'm going to finish off the next decorative bit. So this is going to go like so on the corner. And what I did was I just got some offcuts of lace. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I think we said get some, I think I put on your list of things some pink ribbon, so you can use anything you want. I just thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of lace. And all I'm doing is just cutting out some sections just so it gives a little bit of dimension of the lace, like so. And I'm going to have that just coming out here, and I'm going to have some foam pads behind that, and then make sure I have just a little bit on show at the bottom, like that. Might need to cut a little bit more off, yeah. So let's have that there and just cut a little bit off, just so it shows a little bit of dimension, and do that on both. And then on another piece of lace I've made a little bow, so let's have this one like on that. And this just gives it texture and makes it a little bit more vintage. I know it's very hard to be vintage with these vibrant colours, but it really is a lovely project. And all I'm doing is just cutting it off. So I just want a little bit of lace, that's it. And then I'm going to use my foam pads. So when it comes to lace, you do need quite a bit of glue, wet glue, but the reason why I'm using the foam pads is because I'm going to use my foam pads to squeeze in the hat pins. So I'll have that on first, like that, and then use your glue on top for the lace. Then I'm just going to thread these hat pins all the way through on that. And the second one's always tricky. There we go. And then I'm going to fix this on top, just overlay it a little bit to give a little bit of texture, and then put some more glue on top of that, and then have that on top, and then bring through the hat pins and just literally hold a few seconds down, and then we are there. I just need to put my last bit. So what I've done is I've made a little bit of bow out of the extra bit of lace that I had. So I'm just going to cut just a little bit of dimension into the ends of it, like so, on both of them. I mean, this is just an off-cut bit of our lace that we have. You can use ribbon, you don't have to use lace. And it just brings it all together. And this is just going to sit on here. And you can use silicone glue. You do need to use a wet glue when you're using ribbon or lace. And there we go. Very easy to do. Remember, the most important thing is the string. You can use any type of string. I'm just holding that, that's still a bit wet, so you can see that that works. Let's get the other one, because that's still a bit wet. It will probably take a few minutes to bond. But once you've actually finished it off, you can add some more pearls around there. We've just added some pearls at the bottom here, just so it hangs straight. Now remember, when it comes to in the Craftroom sessions, everything's there for you. These videos are just the inspiration. So go to debbymoore.co.uk, download the papers, then watch the step-by-step instructions. So what I've done to start it off with, I downloaded them, I did my base, I cut out my base of my card, then I die cut the circles. Now if you don't use or don't have a die cut machine, you can just cut it out and then create this lovely spinner card. And then what I did is also die cut the back of it as well. But you could print off the front twice and have the front messages on both of them. Then actually put your ribbon strip on and then make a bow and then cut out your actual butterfly. I've just realised that I haven't cut out the butterfly on there, but you can do that. And then once you've done, have fun with it. It spins. You can put messages in the back. How about putting a secret message on? So have a go and happy crafting. How much fun is this? Have a go at this amazing spinner card and have loads of fun with you and the family.